To be a machinist, you need a solid pair of stones, possibly ground. And that's because precision ground flat stones don't scratch precision machine surfaces, but they shear off any burr or ding protruding from the surface. It's like having a freaking Photoshop tool in real life. Unfortunately, if you don't have a surface grinder to make them yourself, they go for $500 a pair. But in this video, I want to show you how I managed to successfully make 3 pairs of these stones without using any machine tool and by spending all included only $39 for each pair. Full disclosure, before making this video, the only pair of stones I've ever owned was never intended for deburring metal, and I've never done any lapping. Aside for a small parenthesis in college, but I was young and needed money for... Point is, you'll see me making a lot of mistakes that I hope will save you a lot of time if you're not a pro and you decide to try to experiment with this project. The core idea is to use the 3 plates method to lap 3 stones together until they are flat. But there's a problem. These aren't squares, and the 3 plates method works mostly with squares and circles. Because during lapping, the plates have to be regularly shifted 90 degrees to counter the formation of twist distortion on the surface. So my idea was to cut the rectangular stones in half and glue them back together right side down to get a square, like in kindergarten. But here's the first mistake. If you can hacksaw with a dull steel blade through a $9 import stone that claims to be aluminum oxide, you should know that's not aluminum oxide. However, if you have no idea what actual aluminum oxide should feel like, and if you get extremely tunnel vision on whatever task you have at hand, you could find yourself rubbing together 3 useless bricks with a very thin layer of aluminum oxide paint sprayed over them, without realizing that something is terribly wrong. But I can still use the visual proof of my stupidity to show you a key lapping concept that will come in handy later on. It goes that due to the cutting action of the edges, the dancing stone on the top will tend to become concave, while the bottom static stone will tend to become convex. So while lapping the 3 surfaces together until they all match, it's important to also regularly switch top and bottom plate to counter this effect. Anyway, after matching the first face of all 3 plates, I finally snapped out of the tunnel and realized that I wasn't lapping stone but polishing turds. So I will put all this crap in the box, throw in a couple of angle grinder and a disc, give it a good shake, and then the stuff appears. If this shouldn't work, you'll have to pay Norton $22 each. However, just by handling these things, they are a very, very different product. In fact, if you try to cut through a real stone with a regular hacksaw blade, it will shear off all the teeth right away. So I switched to a diamond blade, you know, the kind of blade you use to cut tiles or to propose, and they just eat through the abrasive like nothing. But they clog and dull pretty quickly, so I'd make sure to have at least 1 blade for each stone. The final cut ain't pretty, but it's done. Then it's glue, numbers, elbow grease, and a lot of problems. Because at first, I thought I could lap the stones dry. I mean, how hard can it be to lap together 2 abrasive mediums, right? Wrong! First of all, these are oil stones, so there was a film of waxy stuff constantly forming between the surfaces. And second, after a while I had enough surface contact to neutralize any self-grinding property of the stone itself. To find a solution I spent a couple of weeks making horrible mistakes. I tried to add more weight to increase the cutting pressure and brute force my way through the problem. I tried to rough things out with sandpaper, which worked horribly, then more brute force, but the core problem was another. I've lapped, I think, I don't know, at least 12 hours. This means I'm an idiot because I try to use a very fine finishing process to rough out something that was way off. So what I'm doing now is to rectify that mistake with a better one. That is an extremely coarse tungsten carbide file for tiles. I would have preferred a coarse diamond file, but I couldn't find one. The carbide wasn't ideal, but I had stroked these stones in a week more than myself in a lifetime, with no result whatsoever. So finally moving some material was a nice change of pace anyway. Then I tried to use some diamond paste to finish things off, but I had this misconception that friction was the answer, so I ran it dry and of course it didn't work. So I went back to roughing, this time with a medium diamond file, which worked like a dream. And I tried to bring the surfaces as close as possible to finish. Then I finally remembered how much better is life with the right amount of lubrication, and I really hoped that between the WD-40 and the additional weight on top I could bring this thing home. But I was still missing a key ingredient. Love. Nope, diamonds. Just a super thin layer of diamond paste, then lubrication to allow the diamond to do their magic, then the weight on top, and the rate of material removal improved by a factor of 1000. And since oil and diamond is the regular way of lapping, should not have come as a surprise. I don't know why I was stuck on the idea that the stones could lap themselves. They can't. Use diamonds. By the way, I only use diamond paste and WD-40 because that's what I had around. Maybe diamond powder and oil would work even better. I don't know. But it only took me a couple of cycles to match the plates and get the sweet sound of victory. I know, I should have shown you the full plate before splitting things out, but I got too excited and to get the flatness, here's how I structured the lap dance. These blocks are the three surfaces matching each other. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 1. And the switch in each block is to compensate for the concave convex effect. The circle is the bottom stone and the one without the circle is the upper stone. And this is the lapping cycle for each stage. Bottom plate on 1, charging the surface with diamonds, upper plate on 1. 20 strokes, upper plate on 2, and repeat. Upper plate on 3, 20 strokes, 4, and another 20. Then you just wipe off the slur, bottom plate on 2, charge the surface again with fresh diamonds, and repeat until the bottom plate has done a full cycle. Then we can go to the next step of the sequence, and you go through all the full sequence until the three surfaces all match with each other. This is the diamond paste I use, which should be pretty coarse. And I use a 20-pound weight on top of the stone when lapping. As for the glue, I use this Loctite gel. I let it cure for 24 hours and it was rock solid. In fact, when everything was done, I had to partially cut through the stones to break them apart. Then I dressed the edges with the diamond file, and now I can finally fix all the dings and marks that plagued the table of my milling machine. This shiny part here was a burr, and the stone sheared it clean off without scratching the rest of the surface. It works. I can also repair shredded parallels, deburr parts, get a shiny finish when scraping, and do a whole lot of very cool things. Check out the Robin Rezzetti video in the description to know more, but remember that in this poor man's version, the sides of the stone are still scratchy. So when you're stoning inside the corner, it's a good idea to mask the surface at risk with some tape. So where's the catch? Well, one pair of stones cost me exactly 39 bucks. Problem is you need to make 3, so it's a 120 bucks project in total, which is still a far cry from the 500 you need to buy just one pair. The 500 bucks price comes from Robin Rezzetti's video that I linked down in the description. He goes on and on about these stones and he mentioned the price, but the video is 7 years old, so maybe in the meantime you can find better deals somewhere. I don't know about the quality. What I do know is that if you're in Europe, Stefan Gotteswinter makes and sells these stones, and he has extremely reasonable prices, and it's Stefan, so you know it's very high quality. That's all I think. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.